Hello again, welcome back to the channel. Glad you could join me. I'm revisiting Terry Pratchett's world. I really like Terry Pratchett. There's two Terrys in the literary world that I really enjoy reading. Terry Pratchett more so than Terry Brooks, but I have gotten, Terry Brooks lately, I should say. Don't get me started on the terrible HBO adaptation of Elfstones. Oh, that was an abomination that should never have happened. I can't say that I've been too happy with the adaptation of Guards, the I don't know what you would call it. Basically, the Guards series from Discworld either. There have been some good things about that, some bad things about that. I tend to think kind of the bad things at this point outweigh the good things, but maybe I'll revisit that in a further video. Anyway, the fourth book. Now, when talking about Discworld, Mort is the fourth book that was written by Terry Pratchett. We have The Color of Magic, The Light Fantastic, Equal Rights, and then Mort. But the thing is that with a lot of the books in Discworld, if you are unfamiliar, the first two books in the series are about Rincewind and Twoflower. And the third book in the series is about Escarina Smith, I believe her name is. And the fourth book is about Mort, short for Mortimer, and Death. Death of the Discworld is a character. Black robes, skeleton, carries a scythe. And a lot of these you can read without knowing about the others, without reading the others. Now, if you are reading, say, the books about Death, you might want to start with Mort because it's the first book to feature Death as a main character in the story. Death has appeared in other Discworld books before this. He has kind of a, I don't want to say love-hate relationship, but he does have a relationship with Rincewind the Wizard that's not entirely comfortable on Rincewind's part, nor on Death's, actually. It's kind of funny, the two of them. Anyway, Mort is growing up in Discworld. He's not really fitting in, and there's a lot of that in the Discworld novels, this theme of not feeling comfortable in the situation that you are in. And so his father takes him to a local hiring fair, hoping that his son can get apprenticed to someone. But the time comes and goes. Nobody hires Mort as an apprentice until right at the stroke of midnight, Death shows up and takes Mort on as his apprentice. So he takes him on as his apprentice. He takes him back to his country, very predominant in black and skulls. And he meets his servant, Albert, and he meets his daughter. Yes, Death has a daughter in the Discworld, Isabel. Now, Isabel is his adopted daughter. Death, as you'll find on the Discworld, has been influenced, shall we say, by his job. He's constantly meeting humans. He's constantly seeing the situation that the humans get into, and he takes an interest, shall we say, and so he has the opportunity to raise a daughter, and he does so. Now, Mort and Isabel don't get along right away. Mort is an awkward teenager, and so is Isabel. But Isabel's been an awkward teenager for hundreds of years at this point. So some of her development is a little bit stunted. Anyway, Mort starts going around with Death on his rounds of collecting souls. And this is where we first start to see the difference between D, Death with a little d, and D, Death, big D, goes around with the scythe and stuff. He makes it very clear that he doesn't kill anybody. That he is only there to, as part of the process of conveying the soul from the living world to whatever afterlife awaits it. And he gets very upset when people say that he kills things. He's like, he's there to end suffering. He's there to collect the soul after death, but he's not the one that's causing the death. Death is something else. So it's an interesting view into the mechanics or not the mechanics, but the philosophy behind death and behind the behind some of the beliefs in death as the Grim Reaper, and death the thing that causes human life to stop. So after Mort accompanies Death a few times on his rounds, he accompanies Death to the death of the King of Stolat. Now, the Duke of Stohelit is trying to move himself up in the world, and so he's trying to get rid of the King of Stolat and the king's daughter so that he can then take over the country. When confronted with this, Mort opines on the injustice here, and Death says that basically Death is predetermined and he can't interfere with fate, and that Mort shouldn't either. And the king dies, and later Mort is then sent to collect the soul of the princess, and instead he kills the assassin that the Duke had sent to kill her. And this is where the whole thing starts going pear-shaped for Mort and even the princess. The princess, far from being in a now happier situation, finds that people start to ignore her as if she's not there, even though she's standing right in front of them. And this is when we find out that Mort has caused basically has caused a split in reality. The one reality where the princess died, and this reality where the princess lived, and the two realities are warring to see which one. I shouldn't say to see which one, but reality is trying to repair itself to the reality where she actually died. And Death is kind of nowhere to be found. He has taken this opportunity to indulge in more of what makes humans humans. He goes to Ankh-Morpork, which is one of the biggest cities on the disc, and starts to indulge in some experiences that he hadn't before, like getting drunk, dancing, gambling, and actually getting a job that's not being the personification of the anthropomorphic personification of of death. As with all of Terry Pratchett's books, highly entertaining, highly amusing, and packed with philosophy in a way that makes it accessible, and the characters are well developed, and you can find yourself empathizing with those characters. You can see it from their point of view. In my mind, the first two books in the series, first three really, were kind of rocky. Terry Pratchett was kind of getting his humor and his writing in my mind, worked out. And Mort is one of the ones where it really starts to take shape and take off. So this is one of the ones, don't get me wrong, I enjoyed the first three, but this one I really started to enjoy the series. I really started to get in that mood. If he had stopped with 1 and 2, we would have had a Discworld shaped hole in our libraries. But I'm glad that he kept at it. I'm glad that we have there's 40 books in the series, 41, I think. My son asked me the other night how many there were, and I had to look. I have all of the ones that Terry Pratchett wrote before his death, and I'm disappointed that there aren't going to be any more, at least not by him. It's always possible that his daughter might visit the Discworld later, or we might get some other authors, but it won't be Terry Pratchett. And that's too bad. But Mort is a great book in the series, and it really starts to open up Death himself as a character, who then comes back in other novels. There's other ones where Death is one of the main characters, and I liked the fact that Terry Pratchett made this character that has, in many instances, this scary, foreboding nature, and made him a more human character. It's quite an interesting take on the Grim Reaper. Anyway, that's it for today. Let me know if you've read Mort. Let me know what you thought of it. As always, like, share, subscribe, all other stuff. Comment down below. And until next time, enjoy what you're reading.